He only drinks the blood of heroes. He doesn't need to feed on you. But if you think you're the one to save us, it's best you think again. He'll train you of your courage and laugh as you grow weak. Once he's tasted you. Blood feeds the beast.
Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So, as many of you guys saw in my Mosquitor video, I went and swapped out the armor and the head, and of course that included the wings. And I really like the coloring of these wings I got from that Transformer, but it's just so small to put on there, it just won't work. I like the bigger wings for the size that they are. So, my goal today is to make these look more like these. So our first thing we have to do is get those wings off. So let's go ahead and start getting this ready to take apart. So I first have to take the armor off. And once I get the armor off, then I can heat these up and try to get them off of there. Let me scoot this closer. And let me lower this a little bit. There we go. And so I don't cause too much damage, I'm actually going to pull off this plastic piece first before I dunk it in the hot water, so I do not want to damage it at all. Not at all! Of course, it is kind of stuck on there now. Stuck on you. Come on off. Don't break. Don't break. Don't break. There we go. Alright, and you can see on the inside, these have some really thick pieces connecting to it, so it's going to be a little hard to get them off, but I'm going to pull these shoulder pads off as well. I want to have as little stuff on there that can actually cause damage as possible, and just slide these right in there, and let's see if we can't get those wings off. And I have my water set. I like to have it at least 205 degrees. If it's hotter, that works too. Right now it says it's 189. That's because it's still heating up from putting the hot water in there. It's way over 200. Alright, that should be hot enough now. It looks like it's kind of flopsy-mopsy. Let's go ahead and pull those wings off. If I can get them off. There we go. And you can see how they're mounted in there. And one last look. It bumps on the bottom and straight across the top, so I don't forget how to put them back in. And there we go. Now the next thing is to get any oils off there. I'm just going to go and dunk them in the hot waters for now, just to clean off any hot or any oils that are on there. And then I'm going to take and use an alcohol clean right afterwards. Then I'm going to head down to my garage and actually do a paint on them. And I'm going to paint matte clear on them is what I'm going to paint on them. Alright. So time for the alcohol wash. Let's get the paintbrush out of the way. And whenever you do alcohol wash, you want to do a wipe on, wipe off. So you want to put the alcohol on and then take it off with another dry paper towel. So here is the first one. Get the paper towel nice and wet. And we're trying to get all the oils off of here that you use during manufacturing. Otherwise, our clear purple is not going to stick to it at all. And then while it's still wet, I want to grab my dry one and dry it off immediately. And you can feel it's starting to stick a little bit and drag. That's what you want. You want it so that it's as clean as you can get it, because any spot that's not clean, the paint is not going to stick to it very well. Now normally I like to put some sort of base coat on here first, some kind of primer. Being that these are clear, it's really hard to put a primer on, so that's why I'm using the matte 2x paint. I'll bring it up and show you guys once I spray paint these, so you can see what I stuck on there for my coating. Now, some of you guys might not mind the light purple, and that's cool if you do. You don't have to change these. I just really like the way this looks, the dark purple on there. All right, so now I got that done. I'm now going to clean up my mess. I'm going to head downstairs and paint these, and then I'll be right back and get ready to add the clear coat on purple ink, and we'll see how that looks. All right, I went downstairs and I painted them with a 2x paint, and you can already see with that matte, it already looks way different than it did when you first pulled them out. They don't have so much of a see-through look. So I was thinking about this, how I want it to look on the actual figure. And I was going to just do the whole entire thing purple, which would look cool. But as I started thinking about it, is these little purple pieces here are not going to change color. And whenever I get paint in here, it's just going to look all fluffy and yucky. So I noticed these are made in 3 quadrants. We have this piece here, and then this here. And the other wing has the same thing. Quadrant here. I guess it'd be, I don't know what you'd call it. There's 3 of them. It's not really a quadrant. There's 3. Well, I guess the wingtips is a 4th one. So it is quadrants. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was thinking, I'm going to take and put a light coat of purple all the way across and leave this alone. And then I'm going to put a thicker thing of purple on, and then a really thick thing of purple on. Do the same on the inside. And that way I leave this part pinkish, the part that you don't see from the front very well. And so from the front view, it will look really cool and deep purple. But then from the back, it won't look all weird like the paint's crusting off. And I'll feather it in nicely, so it will probably end just right about here where our purple stops and starts. That way it has a nice gradient look to it, but yet doesn't distract from the actual articulation point. Then I'll take it back downstairs and I'll throw on a crystal satin finish that should look really nice. All right, so let's go ahead and experiment. And I have my purple ink right here. I'm a little scared about doing this because I only have one figure. I don't want to rebuy him just for the wings. So this is a little bit of experimentation. And let's check it out and see what it comes out like. So let me shake my ink really good. I'll put a link to this in the description. It comes in a set of all different colors. It's what I use all the time for my different paintings. I'll just stick some right in there. And now I will take my brush, like I was saying, on this spot right here to start painting it on. This will be our first coat. I'm already liking how that's looking. I'll just take this all the way around town to the other side too while I'm at it. Around town. And again, you want to paint it all in so that it doesn't look weird later on. Well, that's looking awfully nice. And if you do not put that clear coat on first, this paint would just be sloughing all over the place and not adhering very well. So that's why you need to put that clear coat on there. All right, and we will set this one aside and we'll move on to the next one. Same thing. We'll fill, whoa, a little thick there, Todd. A little too much purple. No, I gotta thin it out as much as I can before it starts to set on there. I guess I didn't need to dip my brush in there anymore. I had enough paint already on there. Oh, that is really thick. Then I got my paper towels here. And let's just go ahead and thin that out. There we go. Much better. All right. And now that I have my paintbrush almost wiped off, I'm gonna wipe it off a little more. I'm gonna put that really light purple glaze on that I was talking about on this other piece here at the bottom half, just to kind of have it connect in a little bit. Just so it has a nice gradient to it. There we go. There we go. And this way it doesn't mess with the articulation at all. All right, let's do the same on the other side. May have to just use a little bit more. That looks really good. All right, now to add our second one. This is going to be another coat, and its purpose is to make it a little darker from this second quadrant over and to the tip. That's looking really good. All right, let's do the same to the other one. From the second quadrant over to the tip. Remember, keep that paint light or you're going to end up making a mess out of it. All right, and then the last one is the tip, and we'll use a lot more purple on this one. Just want it to be nice and dark on that tip. See, we got a really nice gradient going on from light all the way to dark. And let's do the other wing. Same thing, get that tip a little darker. It's looking really cool. All right, there we go. Now to let it dry. Let it dry. And I'm going to go clean my paintbrush. That stinks. I use too much of my ink. I always end up doing that. Using too much of that ink and then I waste it. Anyway, I will be back after it dries and we'll put on the crystal clear coat. So I just finished drying these that are coming from the garage, and here they are, all nice and painted with the gradient. You can see it's the original colorway at the tip and gets darker and darker as it goes along. And the paints that I used for the first paint was this matte ×2. Let me stick it over here so you guys can see it. And then the final paint for the covering was this satin crystal clear, also Krylon. I guess the first one's not Krylon, it's Rust-Oleum. Anyway, you can also get the Krylon matte. I used to use that all the time. My wife started picking that one up instead. So let's go ahead and put it back on. Oh, I almost grabbed the wrong armor to stick it on there. No! You got to get the right armor. There it is. And let's just heat this armor up. And you can see now my water is at 214 degrees. And I don't want to get any water on the wings as it will ruin them at this point. So we're just going to heat this up. And then once it gets all warmed up, we will slide those wings back in place. It's going to be pretty cool. There he is. I was like, where'd he go? Where is the figure? All right, that should be pretty warm by now. Oh yeah, very soft and pliable. Shake off the majority of the water. And let's just stick those wings right back in there. There's one. There's two. And let's stick that plate back in the front. Just lock it on in there while it's still hot and ready. Hot and ready. Just like Little Caesar's pizza. Alright, got them all closed in there. And now let's stick it on the figure. Bum, bum, bum. Oh. And no, Little Caesars is not paying for this free advertisement I gave them. It's funny, I've had two of my kids work there, and my youngest boy used to love the crazy bread. So we were going there way too often for the crazy bread and driving back and forth for pickups. Alright, and now for the Z head. Now remember, in the last video I showed you to put this head on because it's a different size. You have to use an O-ring on the back of the ball. And once you get the O-ring balanced on there, then you slip it into the head and just pop it into place and it will fit nice and tight. Alright, there he is. Let me stick this lid back on. Oh, I forgot his shoulder pads. You can't forget the cool shoulder pads. There's one. And there is two. At first I wasn't going to keep the shoulder pads, but the cool thing about it, which is so crazy, is it matches the arm. See, look at that. It looks like it's the exact same coloring and same style. This came with the Classics figure and this came with the Masterverse figure. So it's almost like it was meant to be. I'm going to leave the wings flung out a little bit just so that it can continue drawing. But you can see just how cool that looks now. Has kind of an organic feel. I guess I can put him in a little bit. Has kind of that organic feel, being that it was brushed on and goes from tapering from pink all the way to the purple, and it's almost the same color purple, which is what I was going for. Very, very cool. I love it. I love it. All right, where's the gun? Where's the new gun? Oh, it's right here in front of me. There we go. He is ready for battle. Well, tomorrow he'll be ready for battle once the paint fully dries. It's still super soft. But so cool. What a cool upgrade to my classics. Check them up and down. Yes, those purple wings are sporting for sure. All right, like they say in the 1987 movie, where is he, man? Good journey. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it!